Monday, the OYO State Rural Water Supply and Sanitation Agency donated motorcycles, public address systems, and sanitary items to 10 local government areas to combat open defecation. This initiative, part of the Chairman Babalola Afogbaje's 10 days mark, includes 10 Abuja speakers, 6 motorcycles, and various sanitary items. Afogbaje highlighted support from UNICEF and undergoing efforts such as solar borehole draining. The chairman urged for timely distribution of the items and praised Governor Seyi Makinde for supporting international partnerships. Local government leaders, including Egbeda's chairman Siriki Sanda, thanked Ruwasa and committed to using the item as intended. All right. This is from OYO State, and we could recall that the UN once came up with the idea that Nigerians are #1 on that map, that they are #1 in the open defecation practices. And here OYO State have come up with an initiative donating motorcycles and sanitary parts. But we know that a lot of persons engage in open defecation because some of them do not have access to toilets, or it could be as a societal norms. So donating motorcycles to stop open defecation, donating other sanitaries like of course, you know what we are talking about, to stop open defecation. How is that going to stop open defecation when we do not have toilets, restrooms built around the communities? Mr. Bode, what do you think about this?
Well, I think one thing is government needs to prioritize its intervention. The fact remains that, sorry, I don't know, my voice is getting back to me. I don't know.
I can hear you.
Okay. When government is intervening in this kind of issue, what the government needs to do to look at what actually worked and what actually address the challenge or the concern they are trying to address. Donating motorcycles, donating other sanitary materials will not stop open defecation. What will stop open defecation is if the government, particularly local government, can ensure that there are toilets, public toilets in strategic locations across the major cities and towns. It will help. You know, this defecation is a call, is a call of the nature, and it doesn't give notice sometimes.
Welcome back. Before we went on a short break, we were looking at a story from OYO State where the government has donated motorcycles and also other sanitary materials to the residents, about 10 communities, that's local government areas, to combat open defecation. And according to them, that UN actually partnered with them, and the governor of OYO State also supported. And I'm wondering, now looking at open defecation, we know that a lot of persons are engaged in this as the result of maybe lack of access to toilets or even cultural practices and habits. And they are telling us that they donated motorcycles. Mr. Boti, I'm asking, how is motorcycle going to combat open defecation? And how our other materials, other sanitary materials, how would they combat this? Is it possible? Remember that UN said that Nigerians are one of the top, at the #1 on the chart when it comes to defecation practices. So how are they going to combat this with motorcycles? And public the speakers, how is that going to happen? Please take a look at this story again.
It's actually funny when government that should know better is actually engaged in this kind of because the question is truly, how can donating motorcycles, speakers, and other sanitary pads address issue of open defecation? Of course, you have actually mentioned some of the factors that influence open defecation in our society. Number one, which is more paramount, is lack of access to public toilets. Lack of access to public toilets. And then this can also be further aggravated by cultural practices. And you see, when we say cultural practices, some of these things become norms because we do not have access to alternative or options to addressing the challenge. So if there are public toilets from street to street, in communities, at the is cultural to defecate in open places. There's nothing cultural about that. It is about lack of access to these amenities, particularly public toilets. So when government is to address this kind of challenge, the intervention should be tailored towards addressing the fundamental issue, and which is the intervention should provide adequate, sufficient access to public toilets. Public toilets that are usable, not the ones that people cannot enter, not the ones that are not maintained. Toilets that are usable. And these are the roles and the functions of the local government authorities. If it is where local government is functioning optimally, it is the duty of the local government authority to ensure that this issue of open defecation is addressed by building public toilets, maintaining, not just building, also maintaining the toilet such that it is accessible to people. And also, the local government can put in place a policy or even a law to penalize such, to say that because we have put in place this facility, anyone found not using them or defecating in open places should be prosecuted. And you will see that this attitude will stop. And that is why I said there's nothing, it is about attitude. It is about lack of access to basic amenities that can help address their concerns. And that is what the government should prioritize, not what will motorcycle do. Do they want to use motorcycle to start parking faces on the streets or what? No. And if it is about reorientation, it is still part of it to find a way to sensitize the people, the community, on issues of open defecation. But if you are sensitizing them and you have not provided an alternative, a means through which they can address that challenge, then your sensitization is a waste. So there's need to have public toilets in every road, in every street, in strategic locations that people can easily access.
All right, thank you. And